I'm gonna go back and see if there's anything left in my size, but who knows? Okay, and I'm in a petite small. This is rare, the Asscher cut. I remember the first time I saw an Asscher cut in person, I was getting my nails done at a salon, and a very fancy lady was there ahead of me. When I walked in, my technician said, look at her ring. Isn't that beautiful? And I worked here, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is it? She said, oh, it's an Asscher cut. And then it exploded because Hollywood loved it. Right. We loved it here. I can count on probably this hand, honestly, Erin, how many times we ever did it in a colored gemstone. We did a few pieces way back when I used to do Gem Fest, but it was very, very, very rare. It's one of the hardest cuts to do. I call it the sleeping beauty of the cut world because it was kind of rediscovered. It became so popular, but this is a rare moment to be able to do an Asscher cut tennis bracelet that gives us, again, in small, average, and large, about 18 carats once again. Never happening for me in diamonds, but it's not a worry because it's Diamonique. But if you want to mix this with your lab-grown diamonds, your natural diamonds, that's what we all do, so go ahead and do it. Your choice of silver, sterling silver, or real gold over the silver. And it's just cracking me up that this is $113.98 because I remember when we did the first silver tennis bracelet from Diamonique, and if I'm boring you, and I've told you this before, I'm sorry, but it was round stones, so not Asscher cut. Right. It's probably about 5 or 6 carats, so it wasn't 18. It was when I did silver style, and it was probably like 1988, maybe the end of 87. And I remember the price. It was literally $99 for a tennis bracelet like 30 some odd years ago. We're here today in a much more dramatic cut, and I think a little bit more of a holiday look. Like you can stack it, but you don't have to. And we're at $113.98. But let's start with the Asscher cut because there is something special about this bracelet, and I think it all starts there.
Right, because we're used to seeing a round cut. It's the the brilliant cut. So we love that. It's classic. It's probably most readily available. When you see something like this, there's something very artistic about it. There's something that brings you back maybe to that Art Deco era, because an Asscher cut has beautiful symmetry, great geometric lines too. So it gives you that square shape with the corners cut on the diagonal, and the facets step down towards the center. They get progressively smaller as they get towards the middle. So it gives you this staircase of sparkle with these crisp, clean lines. It's a very elegant cut, has a hint of a vintage feel to it, but it's funny, it's often a choice of a lot of, celebrities love it, royalty love it, because you have to have a really good stone to start with to be able to even consider an Asscher cut, because it just shows off exactly what's going on inside that stone.
That's probably why I can count on this hand how many times we even attempted it in in a natural amethyst or a blue topaz or something. It was like, we did it once or twice and then we never did it. And we didn't do tennis bracelets. We would do like a ring or a pendant. Right. Because so imagine doing it over and over and over again.
Exactly. If one stone's hard to do for a ring, we get to the bracelet. And here's a testament to Diamonique. Every single one of those stones is as perfect as the one next to it, as the one 5 away from it and 10 away from it in a tennis bracelet, because consistency is such a core value of Diamonique. We want to give you those perfect stones, a really high caliber every single time. So yes, it's not a diamond, but it sure looks like one.
Yeah. Okay, I bore everybody, but I'm going to say it again. Best phone call ever was when Stacy was my model. We were on that set over there. It was years and years ago, and a woman called in and she said, I call Diamonique my summer diamonds. And my head is immediately going to, well, sunscreen, summer sports, you're on the beach. And I said, oh, that's great. And she said, well, do you want to know why? And I was like, sure. She said, because when I wear my jewelry, summer diamonds and summer Diamonique. And so some are real and some are not. Nobody knows the difference. It is real. And it's so interesting because I started saying, when you see how jewelry is made, if this happened to be an 18 karat gold bracelet with real Asscher cut stones that were, again, altogether 18 carats, we would have security guards standing near us because that would be frightening. But the same technique of making the metal and cutting the stones and setting the stones, it's exactly the same thing. It's
Right.
not like this is a different technique. The only difference is we're working in precious sterling silver. And then, of course, what I think is quite precious, our Diamonique that's only here at QVC. We have about 200 left in each, and that's it.
And it's such a special opportunity to be able to get this many Asscher cuts put together. It takes that one, the go-to classic to a whole other level. It feels so custom, right? Or maybe something that was within the family and that got passed down. If you want to have the great look, but not the same look that everybody else has, this is your tennis bracelet, because you'll get a lot of wear out of it, whether it's just on its own, or you're putting it next to a timepiece, or you have a ton of fun and you layer it in with all of your great beaded bracelets and gemstone bracelets. That's when you give it a more of a casual vibe.
Isn't it funny that more becomes more casual and less becomes more dressy? I think that's so cool.
I love that.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's so interesting to think that you can buy this if you want to change the color, if you want to change the size, if you gift it for Hanukkah or Christmas and they want to change the color or size, as long as it's in stock, that exchange is free. And that can happen to the end of January. But everything from the flexibility, the ease of wear, the box and tongue clasp with the double figure 8 for safety, that's the sign of a really high-end bracelet that you guys are getting in this very rare tennis bracelet. And I'd love to talk as we go to this hour of how many major designers have come to QVC to work in Diamonique. Jennifer Miller being one of them. I mean, she wanted to work in Diamonique. It's not like we begged her and said, please, please come here. She was like, I want to be here and I want to work in Diamonique.
Exactly. And we're honored that she's willing to take her
Love her.
designs and use our Diamonique stones in place of diamonds.
Right.
Because really, most of the time, that's all they do. You take the diamonds out and you put the Diamonique in.
I have a story for you that I don't think you know.
Okay.
Because I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again when I'm with poor Erin. She's like, oh no.